Hello, my name is Lola, and I'm going to be reacting to old Crash Team Racing on the PS1 by Caddicarus, continuing on with the Crash Bandicoot reactions that Caddy's, no, the Crash Bandicoot games that Caddy's done, going on with the reaction. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, you can, or if you don't want to, that's fine too. Here we go.
Caddy, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
Working?
You bet your sweaty crack I'm working! Look! Pajamas. These are my work clothes. This is my business suit.
Okay.
So lucky.
Change. There's no need to bite my head off.
Bye.
You know, it's been a while since you did a Caddicarus episode. Oh, please don't start. That's what I've been working on for ages. Even right this second. Look, actually, look. I'm scripting the video for Stuart Little 2.
Nobody cares about that.
Oh, yes, they do.
Nobody will watch that video.
Oh, come on. Of course they will. I mean, loads of people watch the movie. Right?
Look, why don't you just ask the audience what they want to watch for a change? Stop being such a fucking selfish scaff master and give the beautiful people what they want.
You know, that's actually a good idea. In fact, it's such a good idea that I already did that. Imbecile. Damn right, And because of that, today, kids, we're going to be looking at one of my favourite PS1 games ever made. So, you better buckle up your eyeballs, because I'm about to fucking plough them into the nearest tree. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show, where I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. And hey, check this shit out. Over 30,000 of you voted in my straw poll that I posted last week. Thank you so much, everybody, because I never in 1,000 years expected this many people to put their opinion forward to what they want to see me ramble about in a stupid video. So, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And to celebrate this momentous occasion, I suppose I have to talk about the winner of the poll, because that's what I'm supposed to do, isn't it? And as you can see from the pie chart, it was an extremely close call, but the winner of the poll goes to that little game known as CTFR. And what does that stand for? Crash Team fucking Racing. So, I finally get to talk about this game. Probably my favourite kart racing game ever made, and from developers that didn't even specialise in the kart racing genre. A first damn attempt. Yeah, you guys all know what I think about Crash Bandicoot as a whole. I love him, and when I was little and heard about my friends talking about a Crash racing game, like, "Hey guys, did you hear about this? What? There's totally another Crash Bandicoot game coming out, and it's about racing. What? And you can play 4 players using a thing that looks like a boomerang. Wow." I remember thinking to myself, wow, I need this. Unfortunately, it wasn't until many years later that I actually picked this game up. But when I finally did, I wanted to literally butter it up and lick it down until it shrunk down into tiny pieces so I could shove it up my... Holy shit, the game is amazing! Even though I actually played the more supposedly advanced Crash Nitro Kart and Crash Tag Team Racing before this, Crash Team Racing proved to be one of the most tightly constructed and perfectly polished racing games ever made. And people do tend to forget that even the craziest popular kart racer franchises like Mario Kart even took tons of inspiration from it, such as the jumping system with extra boosts after ramp hits. Naughty Dog had already created a perfect little trilogy of platforms
platformers for the PS1, but just before they passed on the torch to other people, Crash Team Racing may have felt like a slight afterthought to say voila to the Bandicoot. But instead, it seemed to provide a fantastic multiplayer kart racing experience and influence every kart racer afterwards from what appeared to be an effortless attempt. It's a graceful game, an elegant and graceful game that knows exactly what it wants to do and seems to do it so effortlessly it almost pisses me off.
Seriously, I haven't even got that many negative things to say about Crash Team Racing at all. Well, to be fair, there is one thing to mention about the gameplay, but...
I mean, Christ, all you have to do is listen to the sound design of this game. The pure adrenaline of the high-octane Bandicoot-esque soundtrack and roaring, gritty engines consolidating together is more than enough to get you ready for the heavy yet silly kart racing action. And of course, it also looks distinctively like Crash Bandicoot. And even though I think the character models and racetracks aren't quite as organic and look a little rougher than the platformers, I'm sure that was to compensate for the high speeds and crazy amount of shit going on during the game itself. And hey, even so, I remember all 18 tracks in this game that you race through because of how well designed and strikingly characterized they are. Much like the platformers, the stages themselves didn't have simple themed backdrops serving for the sake of simple themed backdrops. You raced through places you had explored through thoroughly in the platformers, which is one of the many reasons Mario Kart worked so well, and where, unfortunately, I think Diddy Kong Racing didn't work so well. Now, don't get me wrong, Diddy Kong Racing is a fantastic game, but when people compare it to CTR, mainly because of the single-player adventure mode, I think Crash succeeds on so many levels more. Yes, Diddy has the multiple vehicles, more creative boss encounters, more races, but I always thought it had a lot less character to it. Who were half the fucking people you encountered or raced as in the game? Whizpig? Taj? Donkey Kong wasn't even in the game. What? I don't want to race as a moose. This is where Crash Team Racing shone. It gave you all the characters that you recognize from all three games combined, and even the boss encounters had little cutscenes that spoke directly to you as the player before you raced them, and there was a higher sense of achievement when beating them because you could legitimately wonder and guess to who would appear next and what they would do to try and beat you, and then excite yourself even more over the thought of unlocking them. What I'm saying is that you won't be seeing any signs of Gorilla Monkey Anus Face in this game, that's for sure. Although, to be fair, what's awesome about CTR is that it actually took a lot of inspiration from Diddy Kong Racing itself, and Naughty Dog themselves tried to redesign one of the tracks completely in CTR's engine before actually trying to develop the original content. Oh. Yeah. Nintendo. Still being an old man about this whole thing, huh? Anyway, I reckon that's why the tracks were so well designed in this game. I mean, just turn to Nintendo if you want inspiration for creative and dynamic kart racing level ideas. The different environmental hazards, the bottomless pits, the obstacles, the large amount of shortcuts and multiple pathways to take. The level design is very Nintendo, but what's great is that everything else is not. And I suppose you could say for a kart racer that doesn't appear to completely rip off Mario Kart, I'd say that was quite a rare thing to find. Well, first and foremost, with Nintendo racers, you don't get Aku Aku talking to you in his deeply sexual storybook voice.
Welcome to the Adventure Arena. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills.
Could do without those mouth animations, though.
The dots and stars on the map represent warp pads, which lead to races.
And as far as the game feels and plays, it's a totally different ballgame from what Nintendo offered in 1999, when this game was released. Obviously, you have multiple characters with different stats depending on their sizes, and grabbing 10 Wumpa Fruits increased your kart stats and power-up efficiency, stuff we've all come to expect and love about kart races. But everything else in this game feels so loose and yet hectic at the same time. It's loose in the sense of how the karts control, because every kart has an extremely relaxed and flowing control style. It's hard to explain.
In fact, it's so hard to explain that I'll have to process all of my supreme brain power to figure it out. I've got it!
The karts all feel very heavy, and turning, even with the best handling karts, isn't exactly pinpoint sensitive and precise, which means it's not at all easy to lose control, and it helps keep yourself straight. The control is loose, but it isn't slippery. It feels much more realistic than Mario Kart, for instance. And that's what pushes you to learn the intricacies of jump drifting for tighter turns, and then using that skill even further to find shortcuts, and then using those skills combined by getting a long drift and hitting the opposite trigger button whenever the meter turns red to then boost even further and further before finishing with a super boost. Holy shit, it's so satisfying. And that's the key word, satisfying. And of course, the boosts that I just gushed over are one of the many ways the looseness and satisfying weight of the controls is juxtaposed by the utter hectic nature of the game. I have never played another kart racing character game where power-ups go as quickly as they come. Boxes to break are absolutely everywhere, and everyone gets a chance to use at least one power-up per lap. Times that by the 8 races that you have in every single race, and then after some complicated math, Yes. I think you get...
Complete fucking chaos!
Yes, this is an extremely hectic kart racer. Power-ups include missiles, speed boosts, TNT and nitro crate drops, potion drops and throws to poison your opponents, invincibility masks, homing orbs at first place, and so much more. And they are grabbed and used literally straight away by computer players and by you. And you need to learn how to efficiently use every single power-up that you can grab, because as this game goes on, the challenge only ramps up. Combine all of that with the insane speeds, constant boosting from drifts and jumping off at the end of ramps, and there's never a dull moment in CTR. Now, I mentioned earlier that people like to compare this to Diddy Kong Racing, and the main reason for that is because of the adventure mode. To be honest, multiplayer is always the highlight in games like this, and with the PS1 multi-tap, 4-player Crash Team Racing is indescribably fun, especially in the battle arenas, which are varied, wide, full of power-ups, and overall a great addition to the already great racetracks. Adventure mode, however, was this game's way of accommodating to the Larry Loners playing the game. And where it's nothing special as an adventure mode, I mean, I understand that they needed another villain for the sake of being able to play as Cortex and his minions, but Nitrous Oxide was one of the most forgettable bad guys in the Crash universe, which is a shame because of how awesome he looks. It's still an awesome addition to the game with a lot of shit going on, and easily the most memorable part of the game for me. Anyway, plot-wise, Oxide wants to turn the Earth into a giant parking lot. And you must stop him.
Just another day at the peanut factory.
There's no point in complaining about the story despite its nonsensicality. I mean, holy shit, it's Crash Bandicoot in a go-kart. I'm not expecting John Steinbeck to write it. Either way, you drive around different hub worlds, beat the races, win trophies, get boss keys, beat the highly characterized boss battles, unlock more hub worlds, and beat the game. Yeah, Diddy Kong's hub world system was much more interesting, but I still loved driving through the hub worlds in this game, especially when they give you enough time and space to brush up on your driving skills.
Actually, you remember earlier when I went... about the one thing that bothered me in the gameplay department with this game? Well, believe it or not, it's actually with the boss races themselves. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love how they used all the classic Crash boss characters to race against, and they have their little cute cutscenes that they speak directly to you as a player and everything like that. But the boss levels themselves were nothing special in the slightest. All they did was exploit one particular stat boost or exploit a particular power-up, which served mainly as an obstacle to inconvenience you, and that's literally it, nothing special at all. Which is a shame because of the quality of Crash 3's boss battles.
Either way, the races themselves would have been good enough for a kart racer, but Crash has a lot more going on than this. For the regular races, there are CTR token races, where you have to find the hidden CT and R tokens in each race and beat all of the other opponents in first place. Pretty self-explanatory stuff, really. And you also have a time trial mode like the platformers, where you have to race as fast as possible, but also have time crates to break to stop the clock, and breaking all of them allowed you even more time bonuses knocked off. Now, if you thought that the computer races for trophies were too easy, these are the challenges that you are looking for. In Time Trial, there are boxes fucking everywhere, and the CTR tokens can be very well hidden as well. And in both modes, these things are even placed in shortcuts that make you bend everything you thought you knew about the level that you're racing in. You need to know exactly where to boost, what ramps to jump off of with the correct speed, where to aim your trajectory. I mean, it is frustrating if you miss specific boxes and tokens that you only get one chance to grab on a specific lap, but the challenge level is high and fair, and a great addition for hardcore players. Not to mention, kicking the arse of Time Trial also unlocks the Entropy Ghost races, and if you beat that, you then get all the Oxide Ghost races, and if you go for them, I'll just say to you, good fucking luck. You also have special arena stages for every hub world that make you grab crystals under a time limit, which are a lovely change of pace, and pretty tricky as well. Doing all of this shit back to back basically just unlocked everything that you needed for multiplayer, and by that I mean a huge character roster of all the major classic Crash Bandicoot characters except Koala Kong and Brio for some reason. I guess they were too busy signing the contract on Crash Bash and getting ready to throw their lives away from doing so. I mean, even Fake Crash is here, who was a joke character based off of a terrible Japanese plushie during the Bandicoot's heyday. And of course, you also unlock the huge amounts of different tracks and battle arenas for the multiplayer. Don't worry though, if you don't have time nowadays for the awesome single-player experience, you can just cheat your way to unlock everything, even including this adorable Naughty Dog scrapbook for the concept art of Crash Bandicoot. Jesus, I remember unlocking this when I was younger and having my mind completely blown. I felt so rewarded for investing my time into the game after this, and it was a fucking kart racer of all things. And hey, even if you don't have time to do the single player and you don't want to feel like a dirty, skanky little cheat, you have a lot of stuff unlocked for you already before you even play single player. So you know what? Kudos to you, Naughty Dog.
Yay.
Basically, overall, the surprising originality and deep racing mechanics turns Crash Team Racing into one of the best kart races I've ever played, and its influence is even present in today's kart races like Mario Kart with the previously mentioned boost system. It's a blast to play alone or with friends, and it's because of all the gameplay elements alone that Crash Team Racing can be enjoyed by absolutely anybody, and not just fans of Crash Bandicoot for the sake of knowing who you race as and in what location, which, despite the weird shit Diddy Kong Racing pulled, is why that game even also succeeds. For any kart racer, it's all, and I mean all, about the way the game plays and the way the karts control. Pick up, sit down and race, or battle if you're that kind of guy. And if you're looking for nothing more than that, I couldn't recommend Crash Team Racing enough. In that sense, knowing and being a fan of the Crash series while playing this game is literally just a bonus. It's just a bonus of you knowing who you're racing as and in what location, which is what it should always be in a character kart racing game like this.
This game is out and about on PSN, and you should totally consider giving it a look. I mean, myself, I got this for my Vita last year when I went to Texas to SGC, and many hours of my flight were breezed by and completely cut by how absorbed and addicted I was by the sheer quality and charm of this game. And that is why, without a shadow of a doubt, Crash Team fucking Racing gets the salvage. And like always, if it is your birthday today or watching this video, then happy frickin' birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.
Aww.
Oh, and for the sake of everyone wondering what I think about Croc 2, I feel exactly the same way about it as Croc 1, so... Hello there everybody, and thanks so much for watching this stupid little video on Crash Team Racing. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please show me how much you enjoyed it by hitting that good old little like button, because that would mean so much to me. And also, if you want to consider it, subscribe to my channel, because I upload a video every single Sunday, apart from when I'm ill or on holiday, so that's always quite exciting. And if you want to see more of my stuff, I'm going to link you 3 things on the screen right now. Click on all of them to go on to any of them, and hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, did you enjoy it? Did you?
Yeah.
Or did you fucking despise it? Oh, I don't know. Either way, if you want to look in the description, you'll find all my social media links, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch for my streaming that I do, all sorts of stuff down there. And also, you'll find my Games Grabber collection, so if you want to see what games are on my shelf right this second, head on down there and find out. It's updated daily, and I keep putting stuff on there, so go and have a look what I've got on my shelf right now. And of course, if it's your birthday today or watching this video, then happy frickin' birthday to you, and please remember...
Yeah, the game does look pretty good, and you could definitely see where Mario Kart and a lot of other racing games have gotten the ideas from. Yeah, that's my reaction to old Crash Team Racing PS1 by Caddicarus. Everyone take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.